We've talked a lot about future iPhones lately, which makes sense considering that we are just weeks away from some new iPhone hardware. But what about the iPad? Well, for those of you who are looking to buy a new iPad, depending on which model, you may or may not want to hold off, as a few are looking to be updated pretty soon here in the next few months. Well, really just one is coming in the next few months, and then a couple will be early next year, potentially. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the next generation iPad Pro model should be coming this year and will feature two front-facing cameras. Now, Gurman said the upcoming iPad Pro models with the M5 chip will have both portrait and landscape cameras, letting you capture photos and go on video calls without having to worry about the device's orientation. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. Obviously, the current M4 iPad Pros have a single front-facing camera that was recently moved from portrait exclusively to now landscape exclusively, which is generally how I thought people with larger iPads, specifically the Pro models. I have one that's 13 inches. I never had my iPad Pro in portrait orientation. It was always docked landscape on the iPad Pro keyboard. And so having the camera be in the landscape orientation just made total sense. But again, Apple seems to be giving everybody the best of both worlds here with the dual camera feature. After being updated with an OLED display and a much thinner design last year, the iPad Pro will likely receive relatively smaller upgrades this year. For now, the key rumored changes include a performance bump with the M5 chip and the dual front-facing cameras. And on the M5 chip perspective, the M4 is so good already that I don't know how much better it can get, and I say this every year. I've been using the iPad Pro with M4 chip since it was released back in May of 2024, and I gotta say, it's been a really good experience overall. The OLED display is fantastic. It's super lightweight and thin, despite my model here being a 13-inch powerhouse. And the performance, again, is excellent, and I do absolutely everything that I need to do from a general work perspective on this iPad. I still edit my videos on the Mac, even though I definitely could do it on this iPad. I just prefer to work on the Mac for that. But especially with iPadOS 26, everything just gets even better from a laptop replacement perspective. And if you're looking for something in that multifunctional form factor, I'd highly recommend pulling the trigger on a new iPad. Again, you might want to wait until maybe October is probably when we'll see some new iPads come out. And then you might want to see if the dual camera or any other features that we haven't talked about are intriguing to you. But if you don't care about any of that and you just need a new iPad Pro now, the current M4 models are absolutely fantastic. Now, we did just recently get a new iPad Air with the M3 chip and a new 11th generation iPad with the A16 back in March of this year, 2025. So as far as the iPad Air goes, at least, you're good to buy there. I don't anticipate anything coming pretty soon. The iPad and even the iPad mini do have some rumors that could be targeted for a new spring refresh. Apple is working on a next-generation version of the iPad mini, which is codenamed J510 and J511, and that features an A19 chip, according to the information that was found in that giant code leak by Apple last week. Apple is developing the A19 chips for the iPhone 17 series, and that's set to come out here in the next few weeks. And the Pro version of the A19 will have more GPU cores than the standard A19, which is pretty typical with how these two chips go. And that's what Apple is targeting here potentially for the upcoming iPad mini. There is no concrete word on when a new version of the iPad mini is coming out again, but some rumors have suggested that Apple has been working on a new iPad mini with an OLED display, and it could launch as early as 2026. But the launch timeline is unclear, and other rumors have suggested that maybe that OLED model might not come out until 27. Leaked code also revealed plans for the upcoming 12th gen iPad that will feature an A18 chip. The device is expected to maintain the current design while incorporating the faster processor. The current 11-inch iPad features an A16 chip, and it starts at $349, so the A18 chip, which currently powers the iPhone 16e and 16 and 16 Plus, that will bring some pretty significant performance improvements over the A16, which was back in the iPhone 14 Pro, I believe. Now, the chip includes a 16-core neural engine designed for AI workloads, which would enable Apple Intelligence features on this iPad. Since Apple has been updating these pretty much on a yearly basis, we should be looking at a newer version here in the first part of 2026, and perhaps this new iPad mini could come alongside it. Of course, we do have iPadOS 26 coming here in the next few weeks with all of its great new features, liquid glass design language, all of that spread throughout the entire UI. But for those who are working off of an iPad on a regular basis and can support the new multitasking feature that's coming up in iPadOS 26, I think these iPads become even more versatile and useful than ever before. But of course, would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Are you looking to get a new iPad? Let me know which one down in those comments. This is Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.